Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. And this is your third installment of Becoming Sister Wives, Robin's #1 New York Times bestseller. We are on Chapter 3, Christine and Kody.
Well, this is the fourth installment because we did the prologue and then we did Chapter 1, 2. This is 3, so 4 technically.
I'm on the third wife mindset.
Christine is the third installment.
Should have been the third and final, but this is just like a Hollywood movie. We're going to break the last into 2 parts. You didn't really need the fourth. You could have done it all in the third.
Well, that's just your opinion, I guess, isn't it?
I feel remiss if I don't mention the iconography going on at the top of the chapter page because...
Oh, the hearts.
The hearts.
The butt to butts.
I think we can see yet again where Robin has inserted her influence over this novel.
There's no other... No, it's not a novel. It's not... John Grisham didn't ghostwrite it. There's no other heart iconography or like design elements anywhere else in the book, right? I mean, it's just in the headers and those chapter
designed
separations.
In Microsoft Word very clearly, and with a sketch from Robin, just one heart
with 4 other hearts. Oh, so there's
one
like a
smaller.
That's the man heart, and then the
of course
4
it's
wife
symbolic
hearts.
Of Kody and the 4 wives.
Obviously,
I think the smallest heart is Meri's.
It didn't grow 3 sizes that day?
No. I'm excited about this chapter because I felt like it was satire. Is it?
This is the comedic relief part of the book. Yeah, the Christine segments. There was some humor in it.
I don't think it was like intentional.
Oh, no. If you laugh to prevent yourself from crying, you would think that would have been Meri's section because she's all about the laughs. Oh, the laughs. But it seemed like Christine wasn't trying to be funny, but it's funny now when you go back to it. Oh, there's some humor.
We have to start off with some backstory so we can get to know Christine a little bit better. And she really downplays her family's role in the history of polygamy.
Does she? Because she kind of toots her own horn in a couple different spots here. She doesn't declare herself to be the Princess Di of polygamy, which we did in the first episode of this podcast that we ever made. Season 14, episode 1. I think it's all the way back there.
That was the first episode?
I'm pretty sure it's all the way back there.
That was so long ago.
A very long time ago. But no, she's talking about how her grandfather was the head of their church. And then when it comes to their church, she's connected. So if anybody's ever going to say that about themselves, you're tooting your own horn.
You can tell that she's not from the East Coast because saying you're connected has a different connotation.
You got to be careful who you say that to.
It's giving mob wife.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a third wife.
That's the end. That was all you needed to know about this chapter.
Well, not as far back. When she was 17, she decided she was going to join polygamy. Why does everybody have to have this strong testimony, this calling, this destiny that is just ingrained? You can't just decide to do something. You have to have the words whispered to you from God in order to do something.
Because you know it's going to be absolutely terrible. It's going to be a bad experience and you're going to suffer through it. So you have to have some type of defining moment for you to look back on when you're going through all of the horribleness in the trenches.
Your inciting incident that defines you as a person. So this is when she's doing the math here of it sucks to be a first wife because you have to marry a guy alone. Sounds terrible. Monogamy is misery. And then what's worse than that? Being a second wife because you're the wedge that drives this monogamous couple apart. Horrible, terrible, sounds like a tragedy. So, third wife, that's the best spot to be. I can't argue with
it's logical.
That logic, that makes sense. She's thought about it and she's planned it out pretty well. I think the caveat was she didn't say third and final. I think that needed to be very clearly laid out.
I think she thought that was implied.
But, like, you can't know that that's going to be the case, especially with Kody Brown. If you're dealing with Kody in a courtship scenario And based on the courtship that they had, I think you need to be very specific in what your terms are.
Yeah, but I've always felt like the way they've talked about the number of wives is that once you surpass 3, you start getting into like FLDS territory. It starts looking bad. So 3's the special number. Isn't that the number you need to get your celestial planet?
I believe so.
Why the extra credit?
Well, there's more stuff after that. There's more tiers.
Yeah, we know Robin took it. Robin took it all.
Yeah, basically. That's what's going on.
Her grandmother was her influence for all this. Isn't this the woman who lost her husband to being separated because they were discovered for polygamy?
I don't know. She's from a family of polygamists. There's a lot of grandmas, a lot of grandpas.
I know. We need a family tree. But so I thought this was prophetic, which is important because Christine has always predicted her own future. We've seen it in the show. Her grandmother loved having sister wives because the strongest relationship in her marriage was with them. And that's kind of what happens to Christine, isn't it?
Well, that's the lesson to be taught is like, don't expect your husband to provide too much for you. Set the bar real low as it can go, and then drop it a few more feet.
So whose bar is lower, Christine's or Janelle's?
I feel like it's Janelle's. Janelle's bar is pretty low.
At least Christine expected romance and some type of affection.
Yeah, but then she didn't get it. So I think that should be your red flags, too. If that is your expectation or if that's what you want and desire, but then you don't get those things, are you just going to be okay with that? Move on and pretend like nothing is wrong?
Keep sweet.
She did that for about 30 years, close to. But everybody has a breaking point. I think that's the lesson in Sister Wives. We got a lot of different church activities in this chapter alone. I didn't know there were so many.
Who has the time for all of this? I am too antisocial.
We're hearing about Christine's sister Wendy goes on a survival trek. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Let's try to figure that out.
Is that like a Spartan race for a church group?
Is it sponsored by REI?
Janelle would be into that. Yeah.
I'm surprised she wasn't here.
You
Trek
think
or
she
hike?
would have heard about it.
If they put the word hike in.
Oh, you probably lose people on hike. That sounds too intimidating, doesn't it? Trek sounds a little bit more relaxed.
Is this to condition your body for the end times?
Okay, so this was, I think we're getting way too wrapped up on survival trek. We had survival trek. We had volleyball events that Christine's family runs. We had dances or like New Year's ball. We had
ice cream socials.
Ice cream socials. Yes, that was a big one. That apparently Kody and Meri hosted ice cream socials because this family is all about dairy.
They're also leading this survival trek.
They're all over the place.
Do you need to be certified to do this? Because I don't think they are.
Walking around in the woods, I guess.
That's dangerous. In the desert?
It could be. Yeah. Would be. I can't be in the trees. I don't. But I do.
Or was that a joke about Meri?
But I also need trees. But I need light.
It's the beginning of the conflict.
Contradictions, yes.
Did Wendy have a crush on Kody? Because she goes on this trek and she comes home and she will not stop talking about him to Christine.
Kody. It's all about Kody. Wendy won't stop talking about how great this guy Kody is. It sounded like Wendy was into Kody. But then it seems to be anybody who spends an extended amount of time with Kody and or Meri quickly learns they're not great to be around. So then you lose that novelty. The infatuation sort of dissipates.
Noticed Wendy didn't come home singing Meri's praises.
Didn't really mention Meri.
No. In fact, they didn't really clock that Meri has been part of their church for a long time.
Oh, he's also married to this gal. You'll like her if you meet her, Christine. And then Christine's like, I think she's basically been in our social circle for the last 20 years or so.
But no one noticed her until she married Kody. I'm sorry.
That was clearly outlined in Meri's portion of the book.
But Christine, this is why Meri doesn't like you.
Well, now you're just rubbing it in.
Yeah, there's no need to reiterate that.
No, don't need to call that out. I covered that extensively in my portion, and it's okay for me to talk about that, but it's kind of damaging when you're going to bring it up in your section.
Okay, I love that the eyes locking in church is documented right here in the book.
Mostly just for Christine, and that was her realization that, oh, Wendy seemed to leave out the pesky little detail that this Kody guy is actually pretty cute, too. So now it makes sense why Wendy was ranting and raving about him. But turns out Cody's memory not so good. He doesn't recall seeing Christine at church that morning. Does not stand out in his memory.
No, because Robin has Men in Blacked him. And so he doesn't remember that moment anymore. There's only Robin and the lightning bolt.
It's all of the times that he knew that he loved his other wives. They have kind of combined in his memory into a rat's nest of it's actually Robin. It's just Robin. That's all of the good emotions that you have about wives. It's Robin at the end of that rainbow.
I'm not really understanding the timeline because Christine says her sister went on this trek, came home, wouldn't stop talking about Kody. Okay, the next day
there was this.
They go to church because then Kody didn't notice her in church that morning, but a week after they get back from the trek, so this is basically a few days later, they're at a dance.
The church held a dance because, of course, why wouldn't they?
These are the only two places to meet. And Christine catches his eye at the dance.
Why was Kody always so specific about everything that his wives wear? Because I think he detailed out that Christine was wearing a turquoise dress with a lace ruffle at the collar. And he was also very specific about the cowboy attire that Janelle would wear when she was in her phase, that she was trying to survive on the land and stuff like that. And he was also very detailed about Meri's wardrobe and a couple of things, too, in their chapter.
It's odd, right? Especially because he kind of denies the fact that he's vain in that way. But we have the wives talking about in the last tell-all for season 19 that he did this. He was very preoccupied with the clothes that they wore and how they presented themselves.
Well, to have all of the memory capacity for these detailed outfits that everyone was wearing, but then he doesn't remember locking eyes with Christine at church that morning. But it's difficult for Kody to remember. There's so many people that he meets and interacts with. He's a very social guy. It's hard to keep that all straight in his head.
Also, talking about the timeline, Janelle's just an acquaintance right now.
Well, they're referring to, this is Meri and Kody are newlyweds. So how newlywed are we talking here?
Very.
Maybe, within a year. They were talking about 3 years of monogamous marriage before Janelle joined the family. So Janelle's kind of in the mix here as well. But I guess Christine knew that she was in the running, but she didn't want to be a second wife. So that's kind of the basis of their relationship. She wasn't really actively pursuing anything. She's just getting to know this cool new couple, Kody and Meri.
Well, Cody's also not interested in having another wife yet. He's still madly, deeply in love with his first wife, Meri Caroline Brown.
Well, I like all of the hindsight certainties that Kody has, too, where there was this undeniable spark between him and Christine. Their destinies were intertwined. Oh, I'm sorry, interlaced. Maybe some other stuff gets intertwined. Perhaps.
There'll be time for that in the future.
Well, also, the other thing that came to light, too, was the jealousies that are on display. Because the whole reason that he was really actively pursuing Janelle was because she brought a new boyfriend to the ranch to visit with Kody and Meri. And Kody had noticed that Christine had a crush on another boy at that dance. So I think he just wants things that other people want too. Maybe.
A little bit of envy.
Yeah, there's some envy. There's some jealousy that kind of stirs up there. And he wants to be the one who's picked. He's a pick-me guy.
Kody and Meri's relationship sounds really weird. They're newlyweds, okay. But he can't spend any time alone with Christine because that would mean that Meri would have to be left by herself.
Well, and also Meri and Christine are friends at this point. So basically, if Kody and Christine went and hung out, that would leave Meri with 0 friends because Kody and Christine are her only 2 friends.
Okay, that's some bullshit.
So,
is it not?
Well, that
what
makes
a
things
betrayal.
That makes it tough.
I understand. Well, she's going to be friends with Janelle soon, so
that kind of sneaks up on it. And then just as quick as they become friends,
they become mortal enemies.
They become enemies within the same house.
How deep are these friendships? These are just church friends, right?
Well, this is what I'm saying is like we keep hearing about these friendships. Is the friendship in the room with us? Because I'm not hearing any descriptions about the connections that were forged. I mean, Christine talks about how her and Meri would talk on the phone every now and again. That was about the extent of it. So you're gossiping, or what is the deal here?
Meri's trying so hard to make friends, and then Kody gets with all of them.
Are we blaming Kody for stealing these friends
I think
now?
so.
I don't know.
I think this is the story of the loneliest woman in polygamy. That's what this book is about. It's about Meri.
No, I think the book is about Kody.
Yeah.
Everything's about Kody,
Okay.
because then we're talking about the field day, because that's another activity that we're doing this chapter as well. There's a field day for younger members of the faith. Kody was running around being an asshole and annoying the shit out of people, spraying them with water. People were trying to chase him around, but they couldn't catch him. Because I'm so athletic. Speedy recovery. I spray them with water and they can't catch me.
Yeah, he's trying to be the center of attention.
Of course.
Which is hard because he's at the same activity as Christine.
And they're kind of, it's dueling banjos for who needs the attention the most. And then Meri's getting upset too, because there's no way she can hold a candle between these two. To get any attention, she will be immediately forgotten.
I do believe that is Meri's biggest issue with Christine, is that Christine's personality is all of Meri's weaknesses. Everyone notices Christine. Everyone wants to be friends with Christine. She's outgoing, she's bubbly, she's friendly. None of those words would ever be described when talking about Meri.
Even though Christine isn't interested in marriage yet, there are some other words to describe Kody, according to Christine's dad, because spirituality and faith are very important to him. But then the next trait that her dad values the most is athleticism.
Not honesty, respect.
Oh, definitely not respect. Trustworthiness, humility, compassion. There's a couple other things.
Athleticism.
Athleticism, top of the list. Top 3.
He's very taken with Kody.
As is most people on their first impression of Kody, because they don't have to spend any extended amount of time with him. He knows how to win people over. That's why he was born salesman.
Okay, that's his strength then, is that he makes a good first impression. But the more time you spend with him, the more you realize it's a facade. So being in a community where things move really, really quickly is very beneficial for him.
The less of a plan there is, the more spontaneous it is. He can react. He can adapt. So he's all about this.
We're going back to the ranch. Meri and Kody very busy in their early years of marriage, not with one another, but with planning church activities. Because this is organized by them. They're going to Wynn's Ranch.
Unfortunately, I guess they're checking out the talent, because that's what it sounds like here in a couple of pages.
They're getting a lineup of potential
suitors,
sister wives.
That's what's going on. They're trying to find Meri a number 2 here, and it's not going well. But in the meantime here, they're going to plan an organized trip for the youth group up to Wynn's Ranch. That's the plan. Expose everyone to ranch lifestyle and get a real feel for the cowboy life.
How long should this drive take, Corey?
Are we talking Brown family timeline here?
The actual length of the drive.
Did they say 6 hours? Half a day. I would equate that to probably 6 to 8 hours if you're counting rest stops and things like that along the way.
It ends up taking them overnight.
Okay, well, so here's the thing. We had a
How
doozy
many
of a trip.
tires did we lose?
We had a doozy of a trip. We had all these big people. We had to get up this big mountain pass.
It happened again. This is the original, the OG fight up the mountain pass. It's only Kody, Meri, and Christine in the car.
Well, and this is leaving under cover of night, and then day, and then night again, perhaps.
This would have been my out. I can't do road trips with you guys. It went very, very poorly. It continues to go badly the rest of their lives together.
Well, I love how Christine saw this as, it was all of these dangerous, horrible, horrific scenarios. It felt like an adventure. Yeah, like potentially joining the Donner Party. Felt like an adventure.
That's how Kody describes it, though.
Well, Cody's talking about it was dangerous.
It was such a nice change of pace to have Christine's enthusiasm and excitement for life along on this ride, which contrasts with Meri's misery.
Well, yeah, the drive was miserable. If it had just been me and Meri, I might not have made it.
Meri might not have made it.
Well, like
the murder tarp would have come out of the back.
The murder tarp would have been out of the trunk, or I might have veered off the road, or something might have happened here. But Christine, with her spark, her bubbliness, she kept things going. She kept a lively conversation, and she kept that car on the road in a lot of ways.
And Kody's starting to realize now, man, I really enjoy these qualities about Christine. And, there are a lot of things I don't like about Meri. Like when we go to all these activities, Meri's always on the sidelines. But Christine's the one out there. She's willing to be silly and do anything. And that is so like me.
So right when he's kind of developing this consideration for Christine to join their family.
Well, she's got a lot of pros.
Yeah, there's
she's
good.
got one con, and it's that she's a little chubby.
She's a little chubby. So he's kind of snapping himself back to reality. That's not what he's about. He's not looking for this. And then also, he's admitting he was superficial then, obviously. Not now, not anymore.
I'm going to take issue with this, of course, mainly over the word chubby, because let's just say what you wanted to say. She was fat. Chubby is a word that you use for children. Babies are chubby. An adult woman who you're now going to tell an embarrassing story about how she ate chili cheese nachos from a gas station, let's not try to sugarcoat it and use the word chubby.
It wasn't a gas station. It was a Quickie Mart because they also stopped into a Simpsons episode, I guess, and they bought their chili cheese nachos from Apu directly.
Okay, we're going to have to see that episode and find out what they predicted. Did it come true?
Ends in divorce. I don't know, I guess.
This man makes her self-conscious about eating her most favorite treat in the world.
She doesn't know.
Well, she knows now that she
knows now. Yeah, I think that's the disconnect that happens here. Christine has no idea that by her picking her favorite snack food at this gas station in the middle of the night on this horrific drive up to this ranch in the middle of nowhere, you have now steered destiny away from your potential husband here. And so he has lost interest in you. It's just one quick decision that can make or break your entire future. I wish you would have ordered them a couple more times. Just lock something in here, solidify that.
Personally, I think this shows bravery because eating chili cheese nachos while you are on a drive that is taking way longer than it was originally supposed to, and you don't know when you're going to arrive at your final destination.
Bravery or ignorance?
I think that's playing with the Wheel of Fortune.
You are...
It's Russian roulette. We don't know what's going to happen.
You're flirting with disaster is what's happening right there. You got to be careful. So the problem is that now that Kody is completely turned off with Christine, when Christine gets to the ranch, the rest of the group and everybody, they make it to Wynn's ranch. Kody kind of jumps into his element here, according to Christine, where everyone is just completely enamored with Kody being transformed into the hero of the ranch. He's a total stud, she says.
No, this is not Kody's element. We know that he doesn't like it. Kody's element is being the center of attention and showing off.
And he was able to do that. So, I mean, in a way, what she says is accurate. At the top of page 54, though, she says Kody was the complete cowboy. And I think the caveat here is Kody is the complete cowboy to people who don't know jack shit about ranching.
Or cowboys.
Or cowboys in general. Because according to Wynn, Kody was not a good cowboy. But to Christine, he is the complete total package of a cowboy.
It's the equivalent of a party trick that he's able to impress the ladies by getting down and dirty with all the animals, as Christine says. That's a direct quote. I didn't make it up.
She was totally impressed.
She was thinking about how these skills could benefit her in the future.
Right, much like Janelle, seeing Kody get on all fours with the kids. How can this transfer to something that would benefit me?
I want to know more about this friend who makes the equivalent of a pregnancy pact. This is a polygamy pact.
Pact?
I meant to say pact.
Okay. Unpacked.
It's a polygamy pact where she is now going to take one for the team, the friend. She's going to marry Kody so that she'll be the second wife.
Right.
And then Christine can marry him and she'll still get to be the third wife.
Well, Christine was like very taken with Kody at this point, but then her friend knew Christine has the rule of 3 where she has to be the third wife. And so all right, twist my arm about it. I guess I'll marry Kody first, and then you can marry him right behind me. A few weeks later.
It's
Sounds like a plan.
A fucking fleeting thought. Or she got enough time with him that the friend just never brings this up ever again.
You know, yeah, Christine was serious about it. She was like, okay, I'll take you on your word at that. But then this person ended up marrying another man instead. And that's how the Dargers family came to... No, I'm just totally making that up.
Yeah, you're going to start a rumor.
It just felt like the right thing to say.
People are going to be searching it on Reddit,
and that's why
about it.
Christine regretted that from that time on. Every time she met with Joe Darger, she was like, damn, I should have married him.
Kody's sister is another one who's making friends with everyone because now she befriends Christine and invites her to spend the summer at the ranch.
Did Janelle make friends with Kody's sister? Kind of, because she was like in with the family. We know Meri definitely became friends with Kody's sister because that was her in to Kody as well, to get invited over to their house and brush shoulders with them every once in a while.
So his sister's the OG wingman before Meri took over.
Yeah, pretty much. And she's still doing it even while Meri and Kody are newlyweds here. But then trouble starts a-brewing because this town ain't big enough for the two of us, and Christine doesn't like competition because now there's a local family that has started exploring the faith, and Christine was feeling very threatened. They had a daughter who was...
a hot daughter.
Very thin, very beautiful, and Christine was feeling overlooked now. She knew there was no way she's going to be able to compete, and that this was pretty much the end of her and Kody, and that dream is departing now.
This is upsetting because it does play out exactly the way Christine predicted.
She has the gift, and we do know that. It's been proven multiple times throughout the series, so exactly as she described it, she saw all of these steps play out pretty much exactly to a T, and Kody and Meri absolutely took notice of this young girl, is what we will be referring to her as, because she is not an adult.
I'm just filming the young girls.
Yes, just like you, nobody's asking any questions about you guys and your cameras, so... the contestants. But no, the young girl, unnamed young girl, is very quick to understand the path to Kody is Meri, and they become instantaneous BFFs.
They drop Christine completely. They're hanging out with her. Now they're hanging out with the new girl, and she finds out that they started courting her.
That's the last straw. Christine knows, I am never going to marry Kody Brown, no matter what. That's it. From here on out, never again.
I enjoy that the subtext of this is that Meri's physical appearance was not enough of a threat for Christine. But this girl who appears to be becoming the second wife, she will not play second fiddle to.
Well, it's either that. I mean, that feels like more of a personal attack against Meri. I was going to say, I think it was just the way that, again, Christine has the vision, and she does not see this second wife in her future at all.
Which is correct.
That's true.
That is how it's going to play out, girl.
And that's what happens. Yeah, she's not wrong.
How shitty is it that she's the one who introduced them to the teenager?
She knew. She knew this was going to happen, too.
Let's address the fact that this is a young girl, because they kind of just breeze past it. Kody and Meri have to wait for her to turn 18.
Well, this is kind of the beginning of a downward spiral for Christine. She had a really rough year this year. She was finding out that her friendship with Kody and Meri is pretty much over. And then also her parents are getting divorced. Her mother was leaving their faith. So this is kind of like the cherry on top, or like it kicked off kind of the beginning of, she's got a lot of other shit going on. So maybe it is probably a good thing that she wasn't really as directly involved with Kody and Meri at that point in time.
I do think she makes one fatal error, which is she tells her father, if any guys come around here telling you they're interested in me, I'm not dating. I don't want to do this right now.
Do you know what scene came to mind for me was when they were in Vegas and they were doing a pool day, and it was McKelty and Maddie were asking Kody, has anybody asked to court us? And Cody's like, that's not so, I'm not taking offers right now on that. But I don't know if they had any offers to entertain either, but he didn't have the heart to tell them that side of it too.
Well, that's a nice way to put it.
I'm just saying.
Of him.
Well,
I don't know exactly how to answer this. Did Christine have any inquiries, do you think?
I think that was an easy way for Christine to say, hey, if anybody even asks, the answer's no. So it's her way to kind of cut off and say, before I can be rejected or feel even more rejected, I'm just going to go ahead and say, I'm not looking, I'm not interested right now.
My thought is that this keeps her off the market and open for when Kody and Meri eventually get broken up with by the young girl.
Okay, that's a good call. Yeah. If that was part of the vision.
I don't know that she intended it to be that way, but that's the way it plays out.
It does.
And maybe that's unfortunate because had somebody else come a-looking and got her attention, maybe she would not have resorted back to Kody.
I.e. Joe Darger. Yeah. Hello. Missed opportunities yet again.
Meri's desperate for friends. She's still calling. Not picking up on the fact that Christine's a little put off.
Well, to say that Christine had ended the relationship, the friendship between Meri and Kody and Christine, she wasn't entertaining that at all, yet she's still taking calls from Meri. So what are we doing here? Are you guys still just shooting the shit every once in a while, or are you just catching up on some hot goss, or what?
There's no Facebook. There's no other form of social media. So let's be real. This is how Christine is continuing to find out what's going on, because Meri's calling her, telling her this devastating information about how they've now gotten to the point that they're engaged to this other girl. They have a date for the wedding. It's such an exciting time in our lives. What about you, Christine?
Not so good. Not as good, Meri. Gotta say, it's been pretty rough over here.
But then she gets the call that she's been waiting for.
A week before the scheduled date for the wedding, Meri calls yet again and explains the wedding has been called off. And it was the happiest moment of Christine's life. She's overcome with joy. She doesn't know what to do with all this emotion. This is the best thing she's heard.
I mean, maybe the worst thing that's happened to Kody and Meri thus far in their marriage, but nonetheless, an amazing day for Christine.
Oh, no. That's terrible. Really? Because you sound kind of psyched right now. No, I'm bummed.
This is still a problem, though, because they don't have a second wife.
Yeah, she's still the third. And so that's not going to work for her. Call me when you guys have a number 2 that's lined up that's not a total stinker like that 17-year-old you were trying to hook up with.
She has no idea the whole time that they've been cooking up Janelle. Janelle is not the stinker?
Not the stinker. No, absolutely not the stinker.
She has no idea about Janelle, though.
She's like a surprise. Yeah, she's like, because Kody calls out of the blue to rant to Christine, I guess, now too. Is the friendship back on? Christine, we're getting mixed signals now. You're answering all these calls from these people who you don't consider friends, but you still want to desperately cling to them. So then Kody's complaining to you about his new interest. I almost said love interest, but it's not love yet at that point. Not really. But he's complaining to Christine like he's trying to get advice about what he can do with Janelle. Janelle's driving me crazy. Okay, you're driving me crazy.
She tries to walk that back later. Like maybe she misinterpreted that Kody meant Janelle's driving him crazy, like crazy in love. And she just didn't pick up on what he was trying to describe. No, because this is the beginning of Kody ranting about one wife to the next wife. This is exactly the pattern that he then does in a real marriage with all of them.
He's testing it out. Can Christine be the third wife that I can talk shit about these other wives too?
She passes the test.
She did.
Guess.
Yeah, I guess she did all right.
She doesn't even get invited to the wedding. They marry Janelle, which I guess is good news. Maybe bittersweet because second wife slot is filled, but she doesn't really know this Janelle.
So now she's still forced to interact with Kody and Meri. Does she even meet Janelle? Does Janelle travel with them? No, because
They move up to Wyoming.
They're moving. Yeah.
So she thinks yet again, these ships have passed one another in the night and she's never going to get this opportunity to join the Kody Brown family until how many, like they have nights and free nights and weekends. Wasn't it expensive to make phone calls back then?
Long distance. Yeah.
Kody's calling her, asking her what's up. Wait, was this a phone call? Was this in person?
No, this is when they met in person. So yeah,
okay.
Now they traveled down to Utah to meet up with Meri's parents. So I think this was back.
Too much driving.
I know. This is what I'm talking about. This was when Kody and Meri were just quitting their jobs and fucking off for 2 weeks, and then Janelle's just back working, paying the bills because they were testing this out now.
That's why Christine never met her. She was at work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that it was just Kody and Meri traveling around still. And Janelle's already married to Kody because this is after I married Janelle, is how Cody's introducing this segment. We don't know how much time has passed based on that.
So during this meeting, Kody is recognizing that Christine's a little down. There's something up.
Her bubbly self. He knows Christine and the fake persona that she presents. And this is not it. You're not making me feel better by being here. So something's wrong. What's going on?
She's still upset about her parents' divorce. And as she is pouring her heart out about this defining moment in her life that has made her question marriage in its entirety, in this moment of tragedy, Kody suddenly feels the spark again.
Oh, he gives her some sage advice, too, with a nice slap on the shoulder is how I imagine it. Oh, don't worry. One day you're going to marry a man who's going to appreciate that you've been going through something like this and you survived it. Okay, he says in his segment that he didn't tell her that he had a feeling at that time that he would be the man that she was going to marry.
He is the king of mind games, is he not?
He did not say that. So he was trying to encourage her that her future husband will really appreciate that. And was he supposed to wink or something so she would get that part of it? Christine did not get that memo. And her section immediately after says, Kody really knew how to break my heart because it seemed like he was implying he was not going to be the man in my future. So that message was not received at all on Christine's side, that Kody is talking about him being her husband.
Don't you feel like Kody learned to flirt from the pickup artist?
The negging?
Yeah.
And just the downtrodden approach to everything?
He's wearing a leopard print hat.
A leopard print hat? Find them.
Did you not watch the pickup artist?
No, I didn't. I didn't. So I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm thinking about the King of the Hill episode where Hank is mistaken to be a pimp. And that's what I'm thinking of now.
I don't know.
Different.
Similar but different.
Similar but different. Exactly.
We get more of his unparalleled flirting with their goodbye. I'm going to need you to do this in the Kody voice.
It's not goodbye. It's au revoir.
And no doubt said exactly like that.
Yeah. Hola, mi bambinos.
And a current of electricity runs down Christine's spine.
What is a lightning bolt, if not a current of electricity? Amplified?
Christine submitted her chapter first, and
Yes.
Robin went back and edited hers.
Bolt of lightning. She went to the thesaurus and she said, current of electricity. What else like that? Bolt of lightning. Got it.
And that's how Robin wrote her section.
Yes, that was
It's
word for word.
Too bad AI didn't exist yet.
It kind of did, I guess.
How
for
many
her.
books do you think she would have written?
I don't know. Ask the Muppet Babies.
I think She-Ra would have had her own series.
She has multiple times.
They have a New Year's ball at church because
Why not? Of course.
Where is the money coming from?
From the community.
To throw all these parties.
From tithing.
I'm
From Janelle.
just saying, can't even get a pizza party at work. Different
Well,
world.
Yeah,
The 90s.
Okay, so Tupac had some opinions about that. If the church gave back half of what they took in to the communities that they need, well, and you know what happened to Tupac, so we got to be careful what we're talking about here. We're on the public feed now. Got to be mindful of
You're
this.
making me nervous. The important part of this is that Kody is going to ask Christine to dance. Not just once, but over and over and over again.
Dirty dancing. Time of my life, and I owe it all to you. But that's when Christine felt so much attention on her. She felt sparkling, glowing, giddy, more than usual, I guess. But she was taking this upon herself where she's just going to tell Kody how she feels. She wants to join their family. And so she tells him directly, which this is probably an indicator that maybe this isn't the right family fit for you if you're going to just haul off and say something like that so directly, because...
Why? You think because
it seems like...
she should have waited to be pursued by him?
No, I'm saying like that Meri and Janelle don't seem to be going very well with that communication path because they are actively arguing it is absolute torture to be in the same household as them. It's not going well.
You know what I find funny about these chapters is that they all talk about how sister wives are really, like, that's the draw for them in polygamy. But then when it comes time to courting and finding the man they're going to marry, they don't seem to spend a lot of time getting to know the people that will eventually be their sister wives.
No, I think you're supposed to say that sister wives are the benefit. So I think that's what they're raised to believe and to speak about is the joys and the benefits of sister wives. But there's a lot of bad news bears that comes along with the sister wives relationships, and that's not fully addressed or adequately prepared for, I guess, in a lot of ways. But she's given the green light on Kody Brown. If Kody Brown asks, the answer is yes. Tell my dad, tell my grandfather, get ready, because he's going to come ask.
Rex only had one question for him, which was just, what is your loyalty to the church? Because
I thought it was going to be,
my wife recently divorced me and left the faith.
uh-huh.
I want to make sure that you're serious about it.
I thought it was going to be, how fast can you run a mile?
You know, Cody's one of those people who says he's like a sub-6
What's
mile.
what's your 500-meter split? That's what I got to know.
What a disappointment he ended up being to Rex in the end.
To everyone.
But especially to Rex.
Rex, okay. Rex made his own bed on this one. If that's the only question that you have for the man who's coming to marry your daughter,
better.
maybe we have some better questions to ask. Maybe we try to get to know a deeper level of this person and their intentions on marrying your daughter. Check the status of their existing relationships in polygamy. See how we're doing with the first two wives before I just throw my daughter into the mix here.
Yeah, maybe do an informational interview with the other sister wives. It's not going well. That's the spoiler.
Randomly show up for a visit.
A little home inspection.
Yeah, we're just swinging by.
Like a health inspector.
That's what's going on.
We got a card, a scorecard.
If you're a parent, you got to do some things to make sure that your kid's walking into the safe situation here, I guess.
Remember how Valentine's Day was supposed to be the most awkward holiday for polygamists?
Well, it is when you're courting. But it doesn't seem like Kody did anything for this. This was all just outsourced to Meri's sister. Teresa had to do all the legwork on this. And she's the MVP for knowing. Because if Kody went through with this, if he ordered flowers and sent them to Christine's work, Christine was out sick that day and she wouldn't have even got them.
That was fate trying to intercede yet again.
And Teresa was like, oh, wait, you know what? She called me and told me she's out sick, so I'll send them to her house. So Teresa is the only reason that these flowers got to Christine. So credit where credit's due, not to Kody. Do not thank Kody for these flowers. Thank Teresa.
Okay, but is he essentially proposing to her by writing on the card, let's get the ball rolling?
Let's get together. Yeah. Question mark?
Why don't you and I combine?
Circle one, yes or no?
What does that mean? Let's get the ball rolling.
Because that was what she was saying. If I was going to marry somebody, you'd be the man I'd want to marry. So okay. I think he was finishing that thought for her.
It's too vague for me.
This feels like, again, does Meri and Janelle know what's going on? Because that's when we kind of check in. Janelle was very sweet and accepting of my courtship with Christine. Because I think at this point she was like, I think I need to dilute Meri in this relationship as well.
He knows that. He says, I believed that she was hoping for a new sister wife to be her friend or ally. He knows that things are so bad that they are willing to have another woman come into this relationship just so that hopefully they can be the tiebreaker on things.
Just to cut it back a little bit. Yeah, because Kody's not going to be the tiebreaker. So he needs a third wife to be the tiebreaker. Meri, as you figured, she's slightly more prickly when he started courting Christine.
Does she approve of this? Because the next thing he says upsets me because it reminds me of the relationship with Robin. I'm sure as far as Meri was concerned, bringing Christine into the family was just a matter of time. So is it or is it not true that the wives have a say in whether or not you get to court another person?
Because it sounds like Meri didn't want that, but then you're telling her that there's been a spiritual witness and that it's a matter of destiny and it's going to happen. So
just accept it.
Go with it, Meri. So I don't like that.
And we're going to have another chaste courtship here with Christine.
So the shorter the better. Kind of. Maybe. Depending on how many chili cheese nachos are involved.
She's reminding me of the woman on Virgins who is a virgin but is into BDSM. I think that's Christine.
I don't know if she's into BDSM. She's into spanking, and she doesn't know the rest of BDSM. She doesn't know what BDSM stands for. She doesn't know that it's an acronym.
You guys have to check out Versions if you haven't watched it. It's on TLC, of course.
The fact that Kody was referring to Christine as puritanical in her views, I don't think Kody knows how freaky the Puritans were, but I think there is some symbolism behind that statement there too, because we all know Christine's a freaky bitch.
I think he's starting to get the ick again. He's not really sure about moving things along, and Christine's rushing him to set a date for the wedding as quickly as possible.
They got engaged that weekend. They held hands and maybe hugged once or twice, and that's enough to get engaged. Well, honestly,
still better than what Janelle got.
It sounds like it was still better than Janelle
the
by
date
comparison.
Riding around in the dark.
And I mean, I guess comparison is the thief of joy, and I get that, and you can't do that. I get it, but like, it sounds like this was going better than Janelle's. I get why Christine wanted things to move quickly, because she has a yes. She doesn't want to lose it. There might be another 17-year-old that goes walking by.
Oh, I didn't think that's what you were going to say. I thought you were about to talk about the fact that having a long, drawn-out courtship is unfair to the existing wives.
It's true. It is. She knows that. Janelle was respectful about that. She only gave her 2 weeks' notice to her single life, and that was it. She had to let the roster go. They go with a little bit longer, though. Christine and Kody, they're going to do 6 weeks. And this is when Kody starts having regrets. He once again has acted too quickly.
Then tell her that. Isn't it unfair to somebody to marry them in a circumstance like this now, where you are feeling very nervous about entering into a marriage with them and bringing them into your family, and they are giddy and excited and have pretty much no idea that you regret having proposed to them when you did?
I think there were ways that he was trying to bring it up, but he wasn't addressing it directly with her, which is the unfortunate thing here, because he was basically trying to draw out the engagement longer than 6 weeks. He wanted more time. He didn't feel ready, and Christine was pushing him.
What do you think about him not being involved in planning the wedding? Because now reading this, I have a different perspective on it. Maybe it's not that he was disinterested. Maybe he was hoping that by not helping, it would take her longer to get everything organized, and that would buy him more time.
I don't know if more time is the answer, though, too, because then this is the issue, is where Kody's kind of coming to the realization that Christine doesn't really know him. She sees him as the life of the party, the good time gal, or guy, I mean.
And that's not really who he is behind closed doors.
No, and
he doesn't have happy wives either.
I think that's the other part. He feels guilty about not fully disclosing. It's pretty tense. Things at home are rough right now. Meri and Janelle, not in a good spot.
Did they never hang out in a group?
This is what I'm saying. Is like, did Christine even go to their house, or like?
I don't think so. I think Kody went out of his way to make sure that she was completely in the dark about what was going on.
So then he was feeling guilty because he's withholding all of this information. And then Christine is so excited and can't wait to be part of this family. She still has this naive view of marriage, though, about this happily ever after that she was kind of chasing, that she mentions, where she thought it was just going to be the end of all of your problems in a relationship once you get married. Clearly, that is not how that works.
But isn't that what she does for them?
That is, I mean,
because remember
the
woman who never tried to have a good relationship with these people. Kody goes on to say was that what I didn't know was that Christine would become a major factor in the success of our family. She saved the Browns. Mic drop. That's what that is.
Credit, yeah. Credit where credit is due was missing there.
Rip this page out of this book, Christine, and hang this on the wall of one of your Airbnbs.
Maybe not the page about how it was a really hard day for us.
Okay, let's just cut the page in half.
Yeah, like it's just snippets around. That's a good line that you can take out of context. That would be good. Because, I mean, they were talking about how rough the whole wedding day was in general, too.
Wedding night.
Oh, well, yeah, because then the other part was Christine had all these expectations that Kody was going to have a romantic getaway honeymoon planned for them.
Nope, didn't even occur to him that he should take her on a honeymoon.
He blames everyone else and says, no one told me that I should. Why would you think that a wife does not deserve a honeymoon?
You took Meri on a honeymoon. You took Janelle on one. Why would you not take your next wife?
So was Christine supposed to plan the entire wedding and the honeymoon? I get the feeling that she probably told him that, hey, if I'm planning all the wedding stuff, then you come up with a good honeymoon. And then he never had that spark of inspiration to come up with something because he was stressed with the 1,000-yard stare and all of these lies that he'd been holding in about the terrible circumstances at home that Christine's about to walk into.
I'm sorry. The truth of this is that he wasn't excited about marrying you, so he didn't plan a honeymoon.
That's what it really comes down to. And I think that's what becomes evident is that you're literally starting your marriage relationship with being let down. That is the first thing that Christine experiences by not having a honeymoon, which adds more fuel to the insult of Robin expecting an 11-day honeymoon.
Well, I think that he uses this as an excuse to back up why it's okay to take Robin on such a luxurious trip.
Because I made a huge mistake with you, Christine. I really let you down, so I
got to
can't.
right all my wrongs by giving Robin what I should have given to you. Well, that feels good.
That's good, but it makes me feel worse now because now it's like you've let me down twice.
This is the second wife who shortly after marrying Kody, just days later, is realizing, I don't think I really knew this man.
Yeah, because Janelle went through that struggle as well. I don't feel any different than I did a week ago when we were friends.
He's distant and unreachable. And that is very, very sad to know that that is the way their marriage started. And that's the way their marriage ends.
It continues. Yeah, that's how it stays. So I think that was why, I mean, I get that he was feeling overwhelmed. Christine didn't know what to do with that. You only had interactions with Kody where he is the fun, outgoing Kody. So if he does kind of shut down, I'm sure Christine doesn't know how to navigate that. How do you continue on with a conversation when that's what you're being met with? That's not the person that you knew or got to know. So that's where Christine even has the same worries too. Maybe I married him too soon. Maybe I should have listened to him when he was saying, hey, we need a little bit more time here. Maybe I should have followed suit with that. But all it takes is a year, and then they're back on track. That's the timeline here that it's going to take. It was a hard year, but it's definitely worth it.
They fall in love eventually, completely head over heels for one another. What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see that part.
After a year?
No, I'm saying...
Oh, you never saw it.
I didn't see that part of their relationship.
Yeah, it's funny how love follows once Christine fixes all of Kody's problems.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then she gets to be like the golden child who he showers all of his love and affection upon. What have you done for me lately? The Kody Brown story.
The timing is impeccable.
Guys, that means we're going to talk about Robin and Kody next week.
Next week, it's Chapter 4, Robin and Kody, the matrimony story.
If you're thinking, I can't wait another week for an episode to drop, well, good news. We have another podcast called Surviving Reality.
What are we recapping this week?
We are on a docu-series and true crime journey over there until Welcome to Plathville returns. Will we be recapping Welcome to Plathville despite the fact that there are horrible, abusive human beings on it? Of course we will.
You know, we've always approached our Plathville recaps from that point of view, that Kim and Barry are abusers, and then now we're finding out there are more abusers. So if they're not going to talk about it on the show, we'll talk about it on the podcast. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very unhinged season. Thanks for listening. See you next time.